Streets, Michael, when I saw you.
Oh, was that you? I needed to get some more.
Okay. And you're on.
All right. I would like to call the meeting to order. It is 7:02 p.m. on August 7th, 2023. All right, because we have two people on Zoom, do we need to do a roll call?
Yes.
All right. Calling the meeting to order. Roll call vote. We'll start with Priya.
Present.
Wes.
Present.
Dave.
McKenna present.
And Hilbert present. Okay, we are all here and accounted for. Thank you guys for fitting this meeting in. It just this is kind of a housekeeping meeting, just trying to get some things done tonight, so that we don't go quite as long. So we'll start with announcements. All right. During live BXB TV broadcasts, the Grange Hall ceiling speaker audio levels are lowered due to their interaction with front table mics that affect the final broadcasted audio levels. For individuals who would like to have an additional for individuals who would like to have additional audio support, BXB TV has 6 personal wireless receivers that can be used to enhance the Grange Hall's audio experience. Please contact any member of the administrative staff prior to the start of the meeting so we can just make sure you have the equipment that you need. The fall town meeting warrant is now open for boards, committees, commissions, departments, and citizen petitions. Warrant articles will be accepted through the close of business on Monday, August 28th, 2023. Please submit all warrant articles by mail to the Select Board's office, 29 Middle Road, Boxborough, Mass. 01719, or via email to townadmin@boxborough-ma.gov. And you can find all of that on the town's website if you've got something to submit. The Office of Land Use and Permitting is hosting a public forum on goals to reduce our carbon footprint in Boxborough on Wednesday, August 30th at 7 p.m. here in the Grange Room. The Boxborough Fifers Day is going to be September 2nd. The 2023 Fifers Day will take place on Saturday, September 2nd at Flower Meadows on Stowe Road in Boxborough with a rain date of September 3rd. Fifers Day is jointly sponsored by the Boxborough District Minuteman Company and the Town of Boxborough's Public Celebrations and Ceremonies Committee. The day commences at 9:30 a.m. with the Fifers 4-mile road race. Are we having the road race?
Don't know. At this point.
Okay. The only reason I hesitated is we have to make sure that we have all of the town staff, meaning police and fire and everybody, and that is a holiday weekend. That came up at our last meeting. The only reason I asked. The 4-mile road race will be followed by the presentation of the Golden Fife Award at right around noontime. The fair will then commence and include food and barbecue, including a vegetarian option, children's games and activities, a volleyball tournament, booths representing town organizations, and a craft fair. There will be live music throughout the afternoon. For more information or to sign up for a nonprofit booth, craft booth, road race, or volleyball, please go to www.fifersday.org. If you'd like to get involved by helping with planning Fifers Day or helping on the actual day, please contact the Boxborough Minuteman Company via their website, boxboroughminuteman.org/contact us. If you have a concern about an item that's not listed on the agenda, please feel free to raise it during citizens' input. In order to allow input from all citizens, each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. While the board will be unable to discuss or deliberate on topics that haven't already been posted to the agenda, necessary actions will either be forwarded to the appropriate operational department or posted for a future agenda for discussion by the board. If you have a question or comment about an item that is on the agenda, you will be recognized after the board members have had an opportunity to get their questions answered. This is because maybe our questions are your questions and we'll get it all done. Due to time constraints, the board may not be able to accommodate comments from all residents on all topics. Please wait to be recognized by the chair before addressing the board. This is a forum for public input, questions, criticisms, and hey, compliments if you want to give them. However, we do ask that all participants be respectful and civil. Thank you. Okay, onward and upward. Board and administrator comments and reports. So why don't we start with Mike?
I have 2 comments I'd like to make. One is it was raised that the select board operating policy on the website, may be out of date. It actually, the 2019 one is the most recent, that's on the website. There is one that's under revision, but has not yet been approved by the select board, and we'll take that up most likely in September and October to get that revised. And once that revised policy is up to date and voted by the board, then we'll get that up on the website. But the 2019 revision that's up there is the most current. And one other thing, on August 20th, the American Diabetes Association Tour de Cure is coming through Boxborough, and that'll be from 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Most of the riders will be arriving, and I'm going to read a list of the roads that they're going to be coming across. They're going to cross about a little less than 4 miles of roadway through Boxborough. They're not asking to close any roads. They're not looking for any details or any services or permission from us. It's just a heads up. So I just want to put this out. So again, on Sunday, August 20th, starting around 9 o'clock in the morning, riders will be approaching Summer Street from the Acton side, and then they'll be taking Flag Hill Road to Richardson Road, to Stowe Road, to Chester Road, to Burroughs Road, then Old Harvard Road, and then onto Eldridge Road, where they'll depart into Harvard. Again, that's the Tour de Cure from the American Diabetes Association that we passing through on August 20th.
That's not too hilly. That's not bad.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
And Rajan wanted to give an update.
Okay.
So this upcoming September, we are kicking off Boxborough's first ever Citizens Academy. And just as some background, this is going to be a 10-week program, essentially where we are having residents come in, meet with each one of the departments, from the administrative team, the finance team, FinCom, the land use boards and committees, as well as police, fire, the library, town meeting with the town moderator, as well as the town clerk, community and human services, public works, and police. Those are just some of the topics that are scheduled. One thing that we're doing with this is there's an opportunity for residents to learn more about Boxborough, where the money goes, what services we provide, how the town operates, and also to help them to build a relationship with town staff as well as the boards and committees. So the goal of this program is two-pronged. One is to educate the public about what really happens in Boxborough and how we operate, and also to create a pipeline for people to get involved in local government, as well as potentially create new interest in boards and committees for town. So the first portion of the session will kick off the week after Labor Day. We're aiming for the 13th and to finish by December 11th, which will be we're aiming to do the graduation for all the attendees. Currently, we have about 9 attendees since we advertised on Friday. A good portion of them are actually people who have just moved into Boxborough and interested to learn more about what happens in town. And
Nice.
The locations for Citizens Academy, we have it here in the Grange Room. We're using the Morris Hilberg Room, and Payshawn has been nice to allow us to use the large meeting room over in the library for most of these sessions. So we're looking to kick off right after the week after Labor Day, and then finish around December 11th.
That's exciting. Rajan, how are we marketing it and advertising it right now?
So put in some information to the Boxborough News, are getting ready to advertise we advertise on social media. We advertise on the town website. I'm working with BXB-TV soon to do like a little PSA video for people who want to know more about Citizens Academy, and getting that promoted pretty soon.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's all do our part to get it out there also. All right. Why don't we just to make sure. So any other administrator? That's it for you guys. Kelly, anything? No, we're all good. We're good. Wes, do you have anything? I just want to be sure I don't miss anyone on Zoom. Do you have anything, Wes?
So nothing of action now, but at the last town meeting, I had spoke about showing appreciation to town volunteers and staff, and I was going to at least come forward in the near future. It's not like an emergency, but probably in a meeting or two when we have some space on the agenda, with at least an initial proposal to get some feedback, and then we can iterate from there. And hopefully we can have something ready for the next Springtown meeting for May. That's my
Awesome.
update.
No, again, I think that's a great way to build camaraderie and spread the good cheer, and thanks to our volunteers. All right, perfect. Priya, have you got anything?
No, just wanted to find out like where we are with the associate town planner position. I know there were interviews happening, right?
Good question. How's it going, Rajan?
Yes, so we actually just finished up interviews. We're in the process now of doing all of the final, I would say, final legwork for hiring the candidate for it. This isn't going to be necessarily an easy hire because it's a few more hoops that we'll have to go through because the candidate we're looking to hire isn't American. So
Okay.
working with council to try to figure out what's the process behind it.
So checking into their visa or their,
Yes.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we can help with that. Good. Perfect. Dave,
I have no questions.
you got no input, nothing?
No, nothing to announce.
Okay. I just had one thing that I wanted to bring to the board. So I have felt badly that when we've had appointments, things have dragged. People don't really know when they're on the agenda, when the board's going to get to them. So I did talk to the admin team about actually putting times into the agenda. The other thing is if you've got something that you're really interested in seeing, kind of get an idea of when we think we're going to take it up. So just wanted to get everybody else's opinion on maybe doing that and just kind of bracketing out time. Any thoughts, comments?
I'm 100% in favor of that. I guess, so people know, when they should, log in or be here, right? I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, I know it'll be a little bit of trying to figure out exactly how long we need to spend talking about different things. I never want to rush people. I want to fully vet everything. But again, giving people kind of an idea. Wes and Priya, what do you guys think?
No, I think it's a good idea, Christian. Like it.
Wes, thoughts?
So we used to do that, but I think when I saw it the most successfully was that we put a lot of the, I don't want to say low anticipated discussion and or low time things, or where people would actually be coming in up front. And so some of the meatier topics, the problem there is then that you say, as long as we also put on the agenda, say things can be taken out of order, please show up at least 30 minutes before or 30 minutes before the time they're expected, because we could have a gap and then you might not want to start it. Like if we say
Okay.
you're at 7:45, but this person's not here, like that's why we say like 7:15. So like, oh wow, we blew through this agenda. Now do we just twiddle our thumbs or chat about non-town stuff for the next 30 minutes? So that's at least how I've seen it be the most successful. And especially the first time or two, we may want to put like a disclaimer saying these are approximate and we'll do our best to adhere to them or something of that nature.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think there definitely has to be a disclaimer. Yeah, okay, duly noted. So we will work on that for the next meeting and we'll just kind of be flexible with it and tweak it as we go. All right. Awesome. Okay, so ticking right along, public input. Is there anybody in the public or on Zoom who has anything to bring to us today? No?
No hands.
Okay, all right, just making sure. So Kelly and Rajan are going to be keeping an eye, I'm looking at the screen right now, keeping an eye out for hands raised so we don't miss anybody, because I'm always very cognizant of that I'm not looking at the screen. So, all right, perfect. Okay, moving along, approval of the regular session minutes on July 24th. I just had one thing that I noticed is that Donnie Morse's name was spelled wrong, and I think it's an autocorrect. It's Morse, and I always spell Donnie IE. Okay, so DONNIE MORSE. And while we're here, the funeral was beautiful. The town did an amazing job preparing the site, managing it. He had a final tour through town. I actually picked up the funeral procession on Hill Road. I grew up with Donnie's kids. So thank you very much to the whole town for coming up for that and for doing such a wonderful job. DPW, Cemetery Commission, Police, Fire, everybody. Thank you. And if I'm missing anybody, thank you. Any other adjustments to the minutes?
No, that's the one thing I noticed as well.
Yeah, I bet it was autocorrect because that's one of those things. All right. I'd like to make a motion to accept the regular session minutes as amended for July 24th, 2023.
Second.
All right. All in favor? We'll do a roll call vote. Wes?
Folks, aye.
Priya?
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McKeon and I.
Hilberg, aye. All right, unanimously approved. Okay, the next thing we need to do is accept Norm Hanover's resignation from the Conservation Commission. Norm has put in decades of dedicated work on the CONSCOM, trail management, you know, helping people develop their property, all kinds of things. I mean, done absolutely amazing work. So it is with sadness that, you know, we accept his resignation. He did indicate that he'd still like to be involved, you know, in the town, but that just needs to take a step back from the committee. So I will, I'll just go ahead and make the motion. Oh, any questions or comments or additional thanks for Norm?
I'd just like to echo that comment. You know, when I read the resignation letter, he's been doing that a long time. He's been doing a fabulous job, as have a lot of people in the town too. And I know sometimes you need a break, right? You just need a little bit of time away. And so I'm hoping it's just a little bit of time and he'll be back doing that or something else. But you know, we do thank you, Norm, very much.
Anybody else?
Kristen, I want to say thanks to Norm, but also wanted to see if there are other openings in any of our other committees. Maybe he can take a peek, and if not now, maybe in the future. So
I like that. Take a little break
Yeah.
and come back and do something fresh and new. I like that.
yeah, he's very valuable. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay. So I move to accept the resignation of Norm Hanover from the Conservation Commission with a letter of appreciation for his service. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Wes?
Folks, aye.
Priya?
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McKeon and I.
And Hilberg, aye. Thank you, Norm, again for all your years of service. Truly, truly appreciated. Okay, new business. So, Alec Wade, is on Zoom right now. We are gonna be looking at executing the taking of Joyce Lane, Loring Ave, and McLeod Way. So take it away, Alec.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. So in your packet, beginning on page 9, it looks like from my computer screen here, we do have the order of taking. This was prepared by KP Law based on the plan set that was put before the board, accepted and moved to town meeting and ultimately approved by town meeting at a pretty large margin too. I don't think I saw a single dissenting vote in the room, but admittedly, I was pretty pleased when I just saw the in favor votes. The order of taking is pretty straightforward. It references the plan, so to speak, which is Plan 906 of 2002. That is the easement plan that Stamsky and McNeary prepared for the project at the time of construction. It most accurately depicts the easements, and we feel confident that it gives us the required land to be able to care and maintain the space. This is taking a permanent easement over the lands, so not taking complete and utter ownership of the lands. The easement allows us all the same control that an owner would have, but without actually being the title record owner. Additionally, it provides us drainage easements. So between some of the lots on said plan, you'll see little paths, and that's where the pipes go subsurface so that water can flow away from the road, under the space, and into the detention basins. And then additionally, as we were going through the process with KP Law, we discovered that the developers had also actually tucked in a 15-foot wide strip parallel and along Loring Ave and McLeod Way. These are actually really helpful because in cases where we may need to do emergency maintenance or construction activity, this will allow us to with ease go onto properties if it's required, and still ultimately make any repairs or maintenance, restore any land to its original state. But it allows us to cut through some of the red tape when it's really necessary and in emergency situations. So both the DPW director and I were in agreement that we wanted to carry that forward into the town's ownership phase.
Al, can I stop you really quickly? Can you just explain what a taking is and why we're doing it now and not when the subdivision was built?
Absolutely. So taking is a bit of a scary word. So great question. Always happy to.
Well, I just don't want anyone watching this later to be what we took something. So.
Yep.
They gave it freely.
They did. So jumping all the way back to 2005, when this was first applied for, the developer applied for road acceptance. At that time, we would have gone through a slightly different process, but many years and many iterations later, we finally reached the finish line with the homeowners association, who had picked up the torch and ran with it. We have come to this phase now. So a taking is the process by which a government organization, whether it's local, state, or federal, takes property either because of their direct need or sometimes at the will of the people. In this case, the homeowners association came to us with a plea to take this land. The developer was in agreement and continued on with the process, but ultimately the so-called taking process assures us the cleanest transition of this easement, assures us complete ownership over our easement, and guarantees us the ability to secure the easement. Yeah, it's a big word. It's a kind of scary word at times, but the better phrase for this is a friendly taking.
Okay, so the next thing that has come to me are other homeowners associations in town. I won't name them, saying, well, we'd like the town to take our roadways because, so can you explain why we are doing this for this particular neighborhood and we're not offering to take every condo association's roadways?
Yes, absolutely. So I've expressed this to both the Zoning Board of Appeals, who approved this permit, as well as the Planning Board, who is more regularly in the business of approving roadways. I almost never recommend it, but especially not in 40B projects, that the town in any way, shape, or form condition that an applicant should apply for road acceptance. That is ultimately left to the discretion of the developer or the property owners. And in many cases, developers will outright declare that they're not going to ever become a public way. The tricky part with road acceptance, especially road acceptance many, many years later, is that the road is usually undersized, the right-of-ways are inadequate. In this case, we got very lucky that we also have this 15-foot wide strip. It protects us and gives us a lot of extra ability in an undersized roadway and right-of-way. It'll give us an easier time when we do need to make repairs. But often the undersized nature of roadways, sidewalks, right-of-ways in older developments, coupled with the existing disrepair that's occurred over time, creates quite a financial burden for us to undertake it. In this case, and this is kind of my professional analysis of the approach that the Homeowners Association was able to take, the town had taken a stance where they recommended the developer through the Zoning Board of Appeals that the developer should apply for road acceptance. And so there was this inherent understanding by the Zoning Board of Appeals, probably the Housing Board, the Planning Board at the time, not necessarily all of town meeting vote, because only town meeting can actually approve a road acceptance. But many parties were walking into this application with an understanding that the road would likely be accepted at a later date. Unfortunately, for many factors, that took many years. So we did still face a lot of the same hurdles. But one of those entities that had felt they'd been promised was the Homeowners Association, because it was clearly and plainly put in writing before them.
Okay, so therein lies that gray area, is that when the development was initiated, the expectation was that at some point in the future, when the project was completed, that the town would take those roadways. So that is the difference, and the reason why we're not going to take every condo's roadways. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you are watching this and you have questions about this, please email Alec. He'll be happy to answer your questions. You can find his email address on the website. You're also willing, happy to contact us and we'll do what we can also. But I just wanted to clarify that. So. All right, what else do we need to know, Alec?
You should have, I believe, a motion in front of you. I will ask that the board make this motion verbatim as to how it's written. And just know that once you make this motion, and if the board votes in favor and effectuates the will of town meeting, at that point, I'll be moving to actually bring this to the Registry of Deeds and get it recorded, at which point it becomes in effect and we have taken our easement.
Okay, so before I make the motion, any comments from the admin?
I have a comment. So Alec and I have been in communication with the residents, especially Alec through the homeowners association. He has made mailings to every home in this development, letting them know, to be upfront of what's going to happen when this happens. Of course, their roads will continue to get plowed. Future maintenance will happen by the town, but also importantly, is that there'll be no parking allowed on the roads. And that has happened in the past.
Oh, boy.
So they have been informed. They have agreed to this. In fact, when they came and approached the town, that was part of the main discussion. And they were all in agreement, the residents there and the homeowners association, that they wouldn't be parking in the roadway
At any time or just during the snow?
at any time.
So this isn't a Boston parking thing. It's a year.
Right.
Okay.
These roads, you have to understand, are narrower than many roads, which is allowable. But it's not the intention of the town to widen these roads. There's also the problem, these roads have cul-de-sacs at the end and they're small. And so in the past, those have been used to park cars. And the problem is that we can't turn around a fire engine if one has to go down there or make an emergency, entrance. So the board did vote at one time because we did not have a municipal hearing officer. If people were ticketed, they would have to go, straight to court. In part of this process, the board voted to make the town administrator the municipal hearings officer. So if someone was ticketed, they had an in-town appeal process. So what's going on here is this is not a money-making sort of a scheme. This is a way to keep the roads safe and to put a little bit of teeth in. Okay, we say there's no parking, there is no parking, but you could, in fact, you will get a ticket if you're parked there. But folks will have an opportunity to appeal those tickets. Same with a building code violation or fire code violation. There's now an in-town way for folks to appeal those. But I just wanted to make one more opportunity to express that and reinforce that, there is no parking in the roadway.
Can we be a little friendly about it? Maybe a grace period, in the time that I'm assuming that would be the police writing the tickets. In the time it takes to write a ticket, can they knock on the door and say, I need you to move the car? Or is not, I'm asking, because the culture over there is to park on the street. There are always cars on the streets.
Right.
So this is going to be a
signed
real culture shift.
So they signed an agreement when they came to us that they would no longer park in the street, and they knew that. And so literally because I think this is right, isn't it, Alex? That when they came to us, they actually signed like an agreement that they wouldn't park on the street. So at least the homeowners association. So I don't know if it's like, right, we're taking over responsibility for the road, and then you're asking us to then go out of our way to say like, hello, you guys agreed to this, and we're now like doing this.
I'm just saying the time it takes to write a ticket is also the time at least for the first month. Like I'm
There's
talking about
emergency,
grace.
yeah. There's emergency and also non-emergency times also. And so I think that's something that the administration could probably work with the police chief in figuring out and doing a more friendly reminder service for like a month or so, as you had mentioned.
Or maybe it's warnings for the first month or two. And then if it's a habitual offender, but I will say, just because of my experience with homeowners associations, it's all well and good that the 5 or 6 or 10 members of the board say, yep, we all agree, but we need to give the people that live there an opportunity. We don't want to create a financial hardship or animosity, because whose fault it will be? The police departments. It won't be the homeowners association's fault. It will be the cop's fault.
Right. And I will say the police chief and the police officers are not crazy about writing tickets there. This is not a big ticket writing town.
No,
They're not excited about this. It's more the dump trucks, the snow plows, the fire engines, the ambulance that we're more concerned about getting down those roads when we need to have those roads clear. So,
I'm just saying that culture for 20 years has been your extra parking is on the street,
right.
or your garage is full of stuff and you park on the street. Yard sale, big yard sale in Boxborough Meadows. Oh, damn. Okay, thanks, Becky. No. Okay, duly noted, Wes. Again, just trying to keep it all friendly so that we don't have any issues. Any other?
Do we have any outstanding taxes on those roads?
There was, and I think it was less than $3,000. Is that in the ballpark, Alec?
Correct. At last check, the outstanding balance since 2016 was at $2,700 and change. And it is my opinion, I'll share with the board, that at this phase, the taxes are uncollectible. In fact, I would recommend petitioning DOR to file those as uncollectible.
Are these like individual property owners' taxes that haven't been paid, or what? Or is it the developer hasn't paid them?
So this is a tax bill that's been assessed to the developer. The caveat to that, though, is that it's been assessed to a development entity, Boxborough Meadows LLC, that was actually dissolved 7 years, it's my understanding, prior to the taxation even occurring.
Okay.
So cracking open that can of worms might be a ton of extra stuff on top of it. And for what I would describe, and obviously all tax dollars are important tax dollars, but fairly small money since 2016.
My mom used to say, don't chase bad money with good. Yeah, let it go. Otherwise it'll cost us more to collect it than to write it off. Okay.
Kristen, I
Alrighty. Any other questions, concerns, comments from anybody in the public?
just had one question. Did we send out letters to everybody in that, about the parking piece? Like maybe is that a way that we can do?
Yep. So I
thought I read like Mike sending an email about it a while ago, I thought.
I did, and that was Alec and I had talked, and he sent actually letters to every household from the planning department, with the memorandum of understanding, as well as detailing what would happen. So we have been in communication, and Alec has been in communication much more often with the officers of the homeowners association. So it's been a good flow of information. They did come in and present to the select board back in the spring, and they had a couple of visits to the finance committee as well. So there's been good communication back and forth. One thing, if I've answered that question, I have one other question, and that is if we want to have a grace period, this would probably be a good time to put it out there on what it is. I'm fine with whatever the board wants to do. If we want to give them a month, we should probably give them a date certain, when it's fair game to be ticketed. Because like I said, the police are not looking to ticket. I've said, and the DPW director and the fire chief, said right from the beginning, we need, if the town is going to take these roads as town property and we're going to maintain them, then we need to get the cars off the street. And so I've backed them up on that. I agree with them, but I'm not opposed to a grace period, but we should let the residents there know what date, we're looking. If we're looking at, September 11th or September 1st or whatever it is, as long as we're clear on what we want to do.
I'll throw out October 1st. That's roughly 45 days. If somebody wants to, what are your thoughts?
That's the date I was thinking in my head.
Wes got his hand raised.
Oh, Wes?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if we can take that electronic sign from DPW and move it down into Boxborough Meadows.
Good idea.
And so can we do that to either help adoption and or help speeding? Because if you go in there, no street parking, in effect, these, or like you could say something like no street parking anymore for whatever reason, or something more friendly, like
Yeah.
have a nice day or whatever you want. But I think that might just be an easy way, because you have to pass the sign going in, and you have, like, there's only one way in and one way out. And so if the street sign is available, I think it's a fervent use of it to help kind of gain.
That's a great idea.
yeah.
I like that idea. I think written warnings should be, so just so you know, in terms of grace period, I'm thinking warnings, no fines, so that
Sure.
they're still notified. We know you're parking there, stop it. And then fines initiated October 1st. Priya, what do you think?
That's reasonable. Yeah, and it's well before the winter season as well.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who's gonna make the pithy message for the electric sign? We'll think of something clever.
I'll work with the DPW director to come up with
Are you guys
something.
pithy?
No, I'm sure that Ed is though. He's
All
on
right.
vacation. He has to be.
Okay.
And I like the idea of that, the warnings, and then, start enforcing, on the 1st rather than knocking on doors. I think that's,
Okay. I could see it become a little confrontational and knock on doors. So
Neon warnings, neon paper, print them on the edge, and people see them.
so Becky had a good idea. Put the warnings on colored paper, something bright, like a special ticket.
Like a ticket. Yep.
So now I have to be bright and. pithy.
Bright and pithy. Thank you.
Bright and pithy.
All right. Are we ready for a motion? Any other comments, questions, ideas? All right, then. I move to adopt an order of taking in the form presented to acquire easements in Joyce Lane, Loring Avenue, and McLeod Way, and abutting land, and thereby complete the layout and acceptance of those ways as public ways in the town, and to award $0 in damages to the affected property owners for the taking. The town administrator is authorized, in consultation with town council, to make non-substantive changes to the form of the order as may be required to provide for its recording. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Wes?
Folks,
Priya?
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McKiernan and I.
Hilberg, aye. All right, and then I would like to make a further motion that ticketing for those parking in the street shall begin immediately with written warnings through September 30th, 2023, and fines commencing October 1st, 2023.
Just a point of order. I don't know
Sure.
if we can. I don't know if we can dictate when the police issue warnings or fines. So I think that may just be administrative. I would ask Mike what he thinks.
I just wanted to memorialize it in some way versus the board agreed. And,
I mean, we can do like a straw poll, but I just don't want to say I don't want to direct administration.
The board
What are your
recommends.
I just wanted to memorialize it, but yeah, we could.
I think that makes sense to memorialize it, and I'll take it up with the chief and find out, is there anything that would prohibit us from doing this?
Okay, then,
Makes sense.
Mike, the board recommends you take such action.
Okay.
All right, so done. No roll call vote for that one. Okay. All righty. All right, so the next thing under our new business is discussion of select board liaison roles. I think we kind of talked about it at our last meeting, that we are going to move away from liaisons attending meetings, being intimately involved, with every subcommittee, every committee, every board and commission, and truly be liaisons. So conduits for information, understanding what's going on, but not necessarily being completely involved. Does anybody else have a different memory or want to explain it differently?
I don't want to explain it differently, but I had a conversation with Mike about this when I looked at what is in the packet in the Dropbox, right?
Mhm.
it really, I think a definition needs to be included in the procedures document for the liaison as well as select board representative, a definition and responsibilities. So, I think that will get, as we discussed earlier, that will get done at a later date. But as far as assigning the liaisons and representatives for today, it will just go based on that, and we'll have that further definition at a later time.
No, I think that's great. That's a great idea. Wes or Priya, thoughts or comments or input?
I mean, anything to make it more clarified or like add clarity to things, it's always good. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So just for the public, what we talked about last week is that the town administrator will essentially be the conduit of information from all the major department heads. No, it will no longer be the select board, and that we will interface again with the boards, the commissions, the committees, and bring it back. So just kind of creating an order of operations to keep everything efficient, keep communication channels moving appropriately, and so that we all kind of know what's going on out there.
Did what you had in your packet, so that I know when we bring something into your select board operating policy, did that resonate, or did you want to depart? You want to start with that?
You want to just read it out loud? Or?
Oh,
It's rather long.
Oh, no,
but
I think it kind of just encompasses what I just said.
pretty much.
Yeah. The only thing that's in there that I didn't talk about was that if boards, commissions, department heads need support, those requests are evaluated based on priorities set by the board. So those things could go through us to Mike, or from departments to Mike to us. So again, just keeping that communication open.
Okay.
Essentially, that we don't go to boards, meetings or whatnot and make promises. We're individuals. We don't make promises. We liaise.
Yeah, right. So if what you're saying, Mike, is to take that and drop it into the document, I didn't get a sense that was going to fit as it's currently written. So I think as that procedures document gets updated, and we can sort of talk about, what needs to go in there, and then that'll come before the board for approval. We can discuss that at that time. So I'm not going to just lay that on you and say, you do it, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that
I
as
make it
being
pithy and right.
the right fit for that at this point.
So when we come back in the fall, whether it's September, October, we'll come back with a draft and get it to you ahead of time as far as the select board operating policy. I'll see if I can boil some language from this to insert in there, and then you'll have a look, a chance to look at it. Well, it's still a draft. I just want to make sure there wasn't anything here that was, really out of order that you didn't want to see.
No, there was nothing in there that was offensive or out of order. It just seemed like it was, some of that stuff seemed irrelevant as far as what I imagined how it would fit in the document. So, that was
Okay.
my only thought about
All right. So as we get there, I'll work on inserting something in there for you to review it.
All righty. Any other, everybody have a chance? All right. The next thing is select board liaison assignment. So we all had a spreadsheet, and the way I approached the spreadsheet is I signed up for things that I was definitely interested in, but the way but there are lots of holes in here. So I kind of thought we would just kind of tick through it and just have a conversation. Who wants to be on it? Like I noticed, like Priya, you signed up for a lot of things. My guess is you don't want to be the liaison to all 12 of those, but those are all things you're interested in.
No, I thought those were things that I think I can do, but not all of them. Obviously, I didn't know like what each one of us were going to select. So that's why we are here, right? Like we can discuss and decide, like, so that it's equally spread amongst at least myself, Dave, and Wes, given that you have a lot as a chair in your plate already. So that's just my thought. Like, I think we take the majority of it, and then obviously things that you think are important for you to be involved, I think you should. And as much as possible, take a little bit load from your chairmanship. Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I would agree with that too,
Yeah.
So to me, Kristen, it's fine that you don't have, as many yeses in your column as the rest of us, because I think you do have a greater responsibility in your role. After going through this, I mean, there are some that are, that were empty going across, so I sort of threw my name in for a couple as well, so.
Okay.
So
What-
we'll get on the list.
We'll just buzz. Wes, is that how you approached it too? Kind of the things you're interested in, but I just want to make sure that everyone has that opportunity to do what's most interesting.
No, I just did it based on what I was doing before and what I thought nobody else would really want to do.
Taking it for the team. I like that. So, all right, well, let's start ticking through. So the first thing on the list is the Affordable Housing Trust, and Priya put her name on that. Nobody else did. So Priya, you're still interested in doing that one?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. The next one, Boxborough Building Committee. 3 of us expressed interest in that one. Now, only because of my background on the zoning board, new construction, and because I've been on other building committees, I actually would like to be on that one, as well as the AB, school district building committee. If
So I was
that
going to
is
bring up a
board.
point. So I don't know if we have a building committee for the school since it's completed.
Oh, it's just on the list, so I figured
Well, I know.
that they did a
They
name.
finished it last year. I just didn't know. I was going to bring that up, and that's why I didn't put my name there. Because they finished the joint school, so I thought that they had dissolved the committee, but I could be wrong unless they're waiting to build the next school. But
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I was just saying that, that 3 of us volunteered for
No,
that
so
one, and I would like to do that
I'll
one.
make it really simple for you. So there are 3 of us. I'll take my name off of that. So, and Priya was on that before, so I think you two would be the better.
Do we need 1 or 2 people on that one?
That's a 2.
2.
Okay, only because it says in notes 1, so that's why I was
Well, the notes,
confused.
the reference is on actually on the back page of that, and it says what. at the
Okay,
bottom.
I thought that meant the number of people. My mistake.
2 as, members.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Easy peasy. All right. Capital Committee, Dave and Priya, you both expressed interest in that.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. The last meeting.
Yeah. And that's 2 of us.
Yep, so you're both on that one, all set. All right, Design Review Board, Wes was the only one that signed up for that one. Wes, you still want to take it?
no, but I did it last time, and I really only had 1 meeting.
I appreciate your candor. All right, you're in. The Diversity, Inclusion and Equity Committee, Wes, you also volunteered for that one. You still in?
Sure. Well, I
I think
mean,
we already,
I'm
All
the
right.
clerk.
Yeah, we already approved you.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm just ticking through mindlessly. Sorry. Yes, you're already on there. All right, Water Resources Committee. Dave, you expressed an interest in that one. Would you like to stay there?
Yep.
Okay. All right, now we have the 5G Small Cell Committee. Wes, you signed up for that one. You're good?
yeah, I did the first, I've been on it since the beginning. I don't really care. It's not a hill I'm going to die on, but if someone else has a burning interest in 5G small cell, like, have at it.
I'm going to go on a limb that I have no interest. So no, I love it. I want to use it, but would I be of any use in that committee? No. All right. So you're good on that one. All right. So Magic, there's 2 of us, Wes and I both offered to do that because that's a, 2 select board members. All right. So now we've got MAPC, I-495, MBTA and MART, and nobody signed up for those. Mike,
I think
see you
I
taking a
am
deep breath.
the MAPC, or maybe I'm the Magic
You're-
representative.
Yeah.
You took a deep breath.
I did. I don't know if.
Well, you're already in
Alex is
Magic.
still there.
So
Wow.
495 and MART, those have typically been the staff. So it's been
Yep,
Alex
that's what it
and
says,
or
yep.
the associate. MBTA has kind of been, in the past, I think we transitioned it to the last town planner before the town planner left, but That's effectively like the MBTA communities, et cetera, et cetera.
So
And
should it
honestly, it
be,
has more zoning stuff. Like, yeah,
I was
it's
gonna say,
yeah.
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have MAPC and MBTA be a professional,
right.
be an ALEC.
Alex, so it's a
Okay.
2-2?
Well, if Alex signed up, we're gonna sign him up. Ha ha, Alec, are you up there? No.
He's off, so sign him up.
So he's
All
gone.
right, Alec, all righty. And then I-495, is that you and Alec or Rajan and Alec? Rajan, you're here, you could hide under the table, so. Thoughts?
That could be myself and ALEC.
All right, so you guys will work that out. Okay. All right, and then
Can
MBTA,
you go down those one more time? So,
all right, so what I've got,
so the
it-
map C is.
so MAPC would be, Alec, Metro Area Planning Council, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
I-485 will be staff, so that would be Alec and, Mike or Rajan. MBTA, Alec, Mart, again, staff. So some combination of staff.
Like Kim,
okay.
What's that?
you're like the council on aging coordinator. Because they handle the,
Oh, of course, Mart is the, Massachusetts Area Regional Transportation.
I think we have our
So that
own-
actually makes sense that the COA do that. I'm sorry, Wes, I'm sorry, what?
I don't know if we still do MART or if we have our own bus, because my understanding was we had our own scheduling, which is why we have additional staff. And I thought we had withdrawn from MART.
that's how we get the funding. For.
Okay, then that's fine.
No,
Funding
so,
from the bus comes from Mark, is that what?
so it still says two people, so still staff, so perhaps it's admin and COA?
No, 2 is just a
No, it doesn't
note.
say
I
two
don't think
people,
that means
two.
that
Oh,
there's a
it's raised to the
staff.
staff member. All right, see, I'm still reading that wrong. Darn it. Okay, staff member. Okay, so we'll have the council on aging manage that. Perfect. All good, everybody?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Priya, you signed up for the AV Cultural Council? Still all in?
Sure. I
You
just don't know
can- you
like
can
what is
say no,
involved,
thank
like.
you.
No. So it's a very easy one. I'll be honest. They're
Okay.
pretty self-managing, and you went to the cultural council scholar or the grant award night. That is the best time that I've
Okay.
had in the past. And that's literally been my involvement, or when they need to bring stuff forward, they might
Okay,
reach out for wording, but
that's good then.
they're an awesome committee to have.
Yeah, so, yeah, I remember the, like, early summer. I mean, they had the meeting, yeah.
Okay. All right, awesome. Wes, you volunteered to be liaison to the regional school committee? You're still
Yeah,
in?
Liz is on the school committee, so it's like pretty easy.
Pillow talk?
Not really, but
Sorry. Okay.
I still
All
watch
right,
her
so-
meetings just because the kids want to watch it and they say, "Oh, mom's on TV."
Oh, mom's a star. What about you? Are you a star?
No, they're in bed.
All right, so the Acton Boxborough Regional School District Building Committee, if needed, if there is still one, I'm happy to be part of that. But if not, great. All right, now Priya, you put yes and a whole bunch of the next things.
Oh,
I do want to share it out.
Yeah,
I'm
ag
not
com,
volunteering.
if someone wants, I don't know, Dave, if you want that.
Yeah, I'll volunteer to pick that one up because you have too many in that
Yeah.
category. So,
Yep.
so my name should be next to the AgCom.
Okay, then we've got Board of Health. The only thing I'm gonna throw out, does it make sense that whoever does water resources does Board of Health? Not that I'm trying to dump on you, but it might be a consistency thing, or is it better to have two members of the board kind of hearing different things? Thoughts?
I'm going with the latter. I mean, I think the water is, I think that's big.
Okay,
And I think the Board of Health is very important as well. So I think, I think that could be
So-
shared.
I don't think that
Priya, I'm
there's-
happy to
we've had a
take
lot
Board of
of-
Health again. Oh, I'm sorry, what? What, sorry?
I was gonna say, honestly, I've been the Board of Health liaison before, and there's almost little to no interaction. They're a pretty professional board. They're elected. And they send out the messages to everybody and they communicate directly with Mike and the relevant town staff. So we could even remove this liaison, in my opinion.
I think everyone should have a liaison, even if just because if something comes up, they know who their liaison is. So I think leave it on there, even if it is a low lift
Okay, so
liaison.
then leave it. If it's really that low lift, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, because with your background in nursing, Board of Health might make sense also, yeah.
Yeah.
For you, okay. Cemetery Commission, there's stars next to that. What's TBD?
I can take my name off. I think it's only for one person, so.
Dave, you still up for it?
I'm in.
All right, Community Preservation Committee.
I was a member through FinCom, but obviously this one would not be a voting member. I could be their liaison.
Okay, and then Conscom? I'm just worried that you're taking a lot on, Priya.
Conscom, if somebody wants to take Conscom, that's fine. Or CPC, either one. I don't mind.
I think that maybe you stay CPC because of your background with FinCom, and I'll take Conscom because of my background in land development. I
Yeah,
speak their
so-
language.
Conscom is actually still a fairly independent board.
Again, Wes, it's just so that they know they have a liaison. We're not leaving them out. And if they need anything, they've got that person to reach out to bring it back to the whole board. That's all.
No, I was just
All right.
more so just saying, just from a, like, how much time, because there are some that take a little bit more time than others, but I was just giving that context. I'm not
It's a
saying they don't
lightweight one.
deserve one. It's
I'd be
a
able to-
light one.
Easy versus. Got it. All right, let's see, Council on Aging. Dave, you signed up for that one.
I'm in.
All right.
He's the only member.
That's right. I'm the only one that can go to the lunch.
There you go. Works for me. Do you cook too? Okay. I'd like to stay on the Economic Development Committee as the liaison, and I will resign as a voting member. I don't know that we've actually fleshed all that out with, I think that's going to be at a future meeting in September. How the board wants to address the EDC and whether the select board should be a voting member. So we could kind of put a pin in that. I'm already a member. I can wait until September and either resign or stay. Is everyone okay with that?
Mhm.
Okay. Priya, Finance Committee.
Yes.
You get to hang out with your old friends.
Yes.
Dave, you still good with Historical Commission?
Historical.
All right. I threw my name on Housing Board. And Priya, you're the Housing Board Trust. Okay. All right. Library Trustees.
I figure
Create-
they're probably an independent one. And just.
Yeah, it's a low.
Yeah.
It's a low.
That's an easy press.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Personnel Board, Wes, you picked that one. You still up for it?
Sure.
All right. Number 3, TBD. No.
No, nobody signed up for planning board.
So, but these are all elected boards. So like you have the library trustees, the
Yep.
planning board, as well as the finance committee. Again, I don't really know if they need liaisons, but you
Well, what I
guys
see
seem
in
to
the
want
back is
them.
these are presented in the Boxborough Leadership Forum. A question was raised in the workshop as to whether or not they need independent liaisons. So is that what you're raising?
Yeah, and so I mean, like, if you guys really want to do that, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, in order to save like time and mental energy, it may be
Mhm.
worthwhile to say like, or even try it for a year or a half year. And if they say,
Mhm.
hey, we really want our liaison back, sure, we'll give you one. But it's just an option.
Actually, the way I'm looking at that, Wes, is that the library trustees or the planning board, if they want to, if they've got a concern, they can go to Mike, who can then bring it back to us versus actually have a liaison.
Yeah, I mean, any of these boards and committees could.
Yeah,
but-
Board of Health probably too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So do you want?
So we want to strike them from the.
Yeah. So anybody who's yeah.
Okay. So
As
plan-
long as the whole board is comfortable with that.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I mean, worst case, we can change it down the road, but I'm all
Right.
for simplifying and
Yeah.
reducing.
Love it. All right. So we just crossed out Board of Health.
Yep.
Library trustees, planning board. Did somebody say one other thing?
There's the
Planning.
school
The
committee
planning
as
board.
well.
And school committee. Yeah, no more pillow talk for you. Okay. All right. Let's see. RecCom, Wes, you've got your name on that one? Oh, public celebrations. I didn't mean to skip you guys. Well, actually, you've got your name on both public celebrations and RecCom. You still up for that, Wes?
Totally.
I would actually, just because we're talking about it, I would like to see the select board more involved and more supportive of those programs. I'd like to see more community events and more support of the Recreation Commission as we move forward. So can you be sure to bring things back to us, Wes, and like give us an idea if they, you know, if they need a push, if they need help, if they need support, that kind of a thing.
So you're asking me to go against our policies? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
that's fine.
I'm asking you to listen to get whatever input it is, be the liaison, and then say, hey, they're getting ready to work on Memorial Day. You know, hey, Public Celebrations Committee, do you need any help? Or, oh, Blair's coming up. Hey, RecCom, do you need anything from us? Like basically truly liaise and just, you know, I'm not saying we're going to run their committee, just support them a little more because I feel like they've been adrift.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. All right, Steel Farm Advisory Committee, Dave, you still up for it? All righty. Sustainability Committee, Priya?
Yep.
Awesome. Veterans Tribute Committee, who's cemetery?
I am.
Dave went to cemetery. Does it make sense to put veterans
Yeah.
at the cemetery?
Sure.
Are you okay, Dave?
I'm okay with it.
Priya and I think it's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Well-being Committee, who's Board of Health? Oh, no, we crossed Board of Health off. Sorry. That was the one we crossed. All right, Well-being Committee. Anybody? No one signed up for this one.
They meet at they're 8 o'clock in the morning, just so you all know.
Yeah,
Who-
but we're not going to the
who does the
meetings anymore
well-being committee?
anyways, so I'm fine doing it, but I'm not going to their meetings. Like we've made that decision.
All right.
So you just signed up for well-being, Wes? Is that what
I just wrote his.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you really want to take that grenade, like you can, like it's not something I'm gonna like die over, but I'll do it.
No.
Well, no, because but I'm actually thinking same thing. Well-being Committee. It would be fun to I don't know a lot about that committee, so I would love to learn more about it and then offer select board support where we can. You know, whether it's I don't know. Yoga on the common. Do we have common? I'm kidding. Okay. All right, Wes. So you've got all of that. You've got all the fun committees. And ZBA I'll take just because I've got history with them. All right. Did you get all that, Kelly? You got everybody?
Yes.
All right. Anything in addition to this? Are we good, everybody? We're almost done. Okay. Action item, field use policy revision. Mike, take it away.
Do we have to do a motion for the,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't think
Thank
so.
you.
These are
Thank
just-
you. I turned my paper over. Okay. I move to accept the select board liaison assignments as presented. Or as chosen today. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Wes?
Folks,
Priya?
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McCann and I.
And Hilbert guy. All right, everybody's in. Okay, field use policy. Mike, take it away.
Okay, the policy is like 3 pages long and then there's an application. But the main interest here, as I understand it, a while back was for the board to delegate authority to the town administrator for waiving of fees for town groups, school groups. Let me actually read it. There were 3 categories. Festivities organized or sponsored by the town of Boxborough. So like Pfeiffer's Day, Memorial Day, that sort of thing. Programs initiated and sponsored by the Recreation Commission. So the summer program and other programs like that. And then Acton Boxborough youth sports groups, practices and games. Those are the 3 categories that in the current policy, it says that the town administrator will forward all fee and waiver requests to the select board for action. And I believe about a year ago, the board looked at, but didn't take action yet on changing that to delegating that to the town administrator. I think and I wasn't here, but I think the reason was probably so that those decisions could be made quicker instead of waiting a month to let that group know that, their fee could be waived, they can move it on with the program. I think that's the only difference there. I don't have a preference one way or another, other than I would want it to be, if it's going to be delegated to me or to my position, I would want to be clear on when I'm waiving. Like if we said, okay, we're going to waive whenever these come in, that's easy. And the reason I say that is I don't want to come off as picking and choosing. I want it to be very fair and understandable when people put in why I would be making that decision. I wouldn't want it to appear arbitrary
Or capricious.
or capricious.
Nobody likes that. Wes, Mike and I did take a look at minutes from 2022. Do you have, any input on what the previous board's thoughts were on this? Only because action wasn't taken. It just kind of
So,
got pushed up.
yeah, so there were a few actually points which I think were kind of sticking points for the boards. One was that baseball so we have a few different categories, right? So you have, so I would say categories of people who regularly request waivers of field use fee waivers. One is soccer, another is baseball, and then the third one is the Flare Summer Camp, along with in the past, they've done an extended at-bats. So at-bats has asked for a reduced waiver in the past where they do it based on actual enrollment. So they say we've given them a waiver to be either 15 or 20% of the enrollment fee done up to whatever amount it was. Because ultimately it's a service being provided to residents of Boxborough, yada, yada, yada. The main contention and difference between soccer and baseball is that the baseball actually requires much, much more upkeep and requires much more investment on behalf of the town than soccer does or did. And so those are the main sticking points where we weren't able to actually come to some language and or understanding. And either may or may not have been captured in the minutes, but those are the main things in terms of points number 3, in terms of what's in the packets on PDF page 27 is what I'm looking at. And so in the past,
Tell me more about at-bats. Tell me more about at-bats, because that's our profit program that operates out of Joyce Industrial Park, right? And the other 3 are nonprofit?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So no, that's correct. And so, however, it is a sponsored program by the Recreation Commission where they extend the Flare Day Camp program, and at-bats runs an after program in the summer for after Flare Camp. And
Do
so
they charge
past,
children to participate?
yes, but the field use fee was so high that it would be the reasoning presented to the board at the time was that the normal fee would inhibit and or prevent people from signing up because it was just so expensive, and baseball in general is a more expensive sport than soccer, where you need a bat, you need cleats, you need a helmet and all this stuff, whereas in soccer you need shin guards, shoes, socks, shorts, and a shirt and a ball. But the whole point of it was that they were offering so 2 parts. One was it was additional not daycare relief for parents, but that was effectively a service where you wouldn't have to be in charge of your kid like working parents, especially during the summer. And then the other part of it was that it was a Boxborough business or Boxborough style business, and they were being supported by the RecCom to offer more programs within the community. So those were the 2 considerations and why we effectively in the past had done a reduced or a structured the fees based on the enrollment and as a percentage of revenue.
Okay.
Rather than the actual field fee.
So I'm only because I've had the advantage of talking with Mike about this already and kind of processing it. I'm going to go first. I am not inclined to create additional costs for families right now with the recession. I know what my daughter is spending on food a week to spend 4 kids, you know, and I don't want her making choices between whether the kids are going to do outdoor activities or she's going to buy groceries, you know, so I'm a little sensitive to that. I want to encourage kids to be outside playing, exercising. This is part of wellness. It's part of community building. It's helps stave off anxiety and depression, which is a big deal with our kids right now. Coupled with the fact that we've already budgeted for all this maintenance. It's not an onerous, to me, position for the town to be in. So that's just kind of where I am. So I'm inclined for these 4 categories to continue providing a fee waiver. But I am one person, so let's open it up to the board.
So you're inclined to having a fee waiver for the baseball?
For all
at
of them,
bats,
for all anything that encourages children to be outside playing.
regardless of the fact that it's a for-profit.
It's because of Wes explaining that it's in conjunction with the Recreation Commission, and it is to encourage kids to stay after Flora, have some lunch, and play baseball. And especially understanding there's already equipment costs inherent in that. Again, just doing what we can as a community to support that. That's all. So yes, am I a little uncomfortable that at bats is for profit? Maybe, but I'm
You may need to change the waiver reduction then, because 3 does not necessarily, I don't know if 3 would cover that.
that it be a
and so,
reduced
like,
fee.
Yeah,
Well, my only
because it
concern
says
is,
below, it says fees will not be waived for clinics and camps conducted by any group which charge an additional registration fee to its participants.
okay,
And so you may change that to say fees may be waived or reduced or structured in a different way, I guess is a better way to put it. But that's wordsmithing, and as you see here, why this keeps getting pushed out and pushed out, because there continue to be more edge cases.
sure. Priya, are you done, Wes? Sorry.
Sorry.
Priya, your hand is up too.
Just wanted, like, is BATS part of the AB Youth Sports Group, or is that's a separate one? So there was no question
I
about
don't
the
know
AB.
a lot about them. Does anyone know more about, my kids didn't play baseball. If they know more about at bats.
I thought it was an indoor batting cage, like it's over in the, by the pantry.
Well, that's what I thought too. In Joyce Industrial Park, that they are an indoor batting cage. Super fun. I know kids really enjoy it, but then what I'm hearing is that they do an after summer program at Flora. Is that what you were saying, Wes?
In the past, they have. Here, let me see.
Now, do they do just Boxborough, or it includes Acton as well?
So this is their site.
And they
I
are,
don't
they are
think that they
up
asked
for
us.
business.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't think they did not come this summer for a waiver. So effectively, they're a softball and baseball training facility.
Now, do they do like in Acton as well, Wes? Do you know?
I don't personally. I'm not a fan of baseball. I just approve the waivers.
That's not American.
No, I mean, the reason I'm asking all this is that, like, with the Acton Boxborough Youth Sports Group, we shouldn't forget that many of our kids that get involved in that, like, they use the Acton fields as well.
No, they don't.
No?
Well,
Or
so
for
Acton actually.
soccer, they use.
No, so soccer is no longer used in Acton because Acton started charging a fee.
Oh, when did
Baseball, they
that
have
start?
to
Ooh,
a
okay.
while ago, and so AB Youth Soccer exclusively does Boxborough only fields because we give them a better fee. If we
Okay.
started to charge them a fee, they would then be going to Littleton and other towns which charge lower fees.
Okay.
Acton has ridiculously high fees because they've been at the levy limit for quite some time,
Okay.
and that is how they have chosen to operate their town.
Up until 4 years ago, I think we used to go between Acton and Boxborough. So I was worried, like, I mean, if we start charging, if Acton starts charging our kids too, and we were using more of the Acton fields than Boxborough back then. So, okay, so now that changes all the.
I have not played a soccer game in Acton while I have been coaching or watching my kids.
Becky, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I would just say At Bats is actually also owned by someone who lives in Boxborough. Ken
Mhm.
Morse lives in Boxborough. But then to the next point, I think you're sort of skirting around this, is that I remember a few years ago, there was some football clinic for, I think, high school kids, but they brought kids in from all over and it was run by some outside organization and they wanted a waiver. And everybody was like, well, it's our kids. But it was people were making money on it. So they wanted a waiver then. So I think you have to be really clear about if they're going to charge and it's an outside organization. I guess Mike's going to need some clear guidelines as to what is included and what isn't included.
Well, I think to answer that question, if Mike, you ever have a question about that, then it comes to the board. And he just says, I'm not comfortable making this decision. We'll bring it to the board. Because okay. So that's interesting that Acton is charging exorbitant fees. They're coming over to us.
We could just say any fees not falling under these categories can either be at the discretion of the town administrator or brought to the board. That's one way to kind of get around these edge cases. And then it's just a policy. We can change it at any time.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's important to support. I mean, it's a local business. They're taking care of Foxborough kids.
Yep.
But I'm just thinking about how this is going to be worded and the precedent. Well, it's like, well, they're for profit and you're not. So it's just, there are some items here that are clear, but this one's a little muddy. So if we put some language in there that says, at the discretion of the town administrator to have a reduced fee, and then you try to work it out. So it's open, we're open to that, but we're not committing to that to create more problems with other people wanting to, use it as precedent.
It's Ken Joyce, right? Who owns At Bats? I mean, he lives, Ken Morse, sorry. I think it could be at the discretion, but that where it's a Boxborough resident owned business supporting, especially if they're at FLERA, it's for kids remaining after the FLERA program. Yeah. All right. I see what you're saying. So as long as we understand exactly what the program is and why it's happening, if it's going to benefit our children, absolutely. And when in doubt, bring it back.
Okay.
So at discretion.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, again, my opinion only. Okay, if Acton's charging fees and then we charge fees, it either drives up the cost for parents to pay for their children to participate, or it drives them out of our towns. And to me, that's unacceptable. They're going to go play in Littleton because the fees, to me, that's unacceptable. So I'm going to stick to where I was, that I do believe that these 4 categories should be waived.
Just for a point, then the waiver reduction of fees, there's only 3 categories, so I don't know what the 4th one you're referring
Maybe
to.
Oh,
Boxborough
I wrote down soccer, baseball, summer program, and At Bats, because when you listed out the concerns of this previous
Okay.
select board, it was a kind of that 4th category.
Kristen, do you want to do At Bats, or should we say, leave it as more common saying Boxborough based business? I mean, because.
Oh, no, it shouldn't say At Bats. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it should just be that, Boxborough based businesses that support youth activities or adult activities. Right. Actually, that support resident activities are at the discretion. Yeah. You can wordsmith it and bring it back next time.
Okay.
But I think,
I think Holly runs senior programs like the boot camp, Holly's Fitness or whatever. So she's the Boxborough business, right?
Right.
Kids.
yeah. Well, and I just think with the new Liberty Field development, that's for all ages, and there might be other local entities that are going to come in and ask for a waiver.
Yeah, this is just a policy that we can always update as we learn about more desire and more interest as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, does it keep it simple for now? If we use the 3 categories that are in there and delegate those to the TA to do?
Yep.
And then these other ones where you get into businesses or is it including out of town, this, that, just bring that back to the board, at least
Do
until
that
we.
too. If you're not comfortable making those decisions yet, because it's either at the discretion of the town administrator, or if you're uncomfortable with it, you bring it back to the board.
Because at least if there's something that's a little bit of a gray area, it comes back here to a democratic discussion. Whereas I'm making a decision, and I don't want somebody to say, well, he's making an unfair decision. Whereas I think it's going to get deliberated in public here. I think it's going to come out of here. Okay, it's had a fair deliberation.
Right.
Where behind the door in my office, I don't want people to think I'm playing favorites because I'm
Right.
just one person making a decision. Whereas these first three ones, that's clear to me.
Just to be clear, festivities organized or sponsored by Boxborough, programs initiated or sponsored by Boxborough, or Acton Boxborough youth sports groups. So those are the three black and white categories. And so, it gives the opportunity for that football program or whomever else to come in and say why they'd like to use it, present what they're doing, and then we can make a decision. Thoughts, everybody?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, at the discretion of the board, I agree with what you're saying, Mike, that if you have it if it's clear, cut and dry, yeah, okay, I can sign up on this, no question
Then it
about
could
it.
be done in a timely fashion.
Right, and I like what Christian said about somebody coming in, because I've never met the people, and they come in and they say, we'd like to use your field, and,
This is what we're
and
doing.
we can ask the question, well, okay, so what's the, is it for profit? How much profit is there? And try to set some reasonable fee associated with that. So I'm good with that. But it's a matter of writing the language that you want to put in there for the.
So do we
I think if
change the
we
word
start with the-
activities organized or sponsored by the town of Boxborough to just activities? And that way it covers council on aging. It basically covers, because what we've got right now is festivities, programs and sponsored by the RecCom and youth sports. So maybe if we just change that to outdoor activities, I don't know, instead of festivities and outdoor activities.
So is it,
Sponsored by a town board maybe or something, I don't know.
Well, I think if it's sponsored by the town of Boxborough, that's all the boards and commissions.
does council
You
on
can also
aging,
say programs initiated and sponsored by the town of Boxborough.
Programs, love it. That's much better.
Well, that's the number 2. I'm just saying on page 27, just strike the by the town Boxborough Recreation Committee and just say by the town of Boxborough. Because
Okay.
we are officially a organization, so RecCom is part of the town of Boxborough.
Right? Oh, all right. So you still want to keep festivities, programs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that's like the parade. That's
Okay,
like, or
festi-
that's like the
The
Piper's
festivities.
Day,
Yeah.
Harvest Festival, those
Yeah.
types of things.
Anybody else? I'm
Plus, it
sorry.
makes it looks like there's stuff going on in town, so.
True. Anybody else have any comments or input? No? Good.
And we'll just have to work on the wording for that last paragraph if we're going to open it up for people to bring things back to the board, because right now it says they will not be waived.
Yeah, I
So
think we
need
just,
to-
at the discretion, Wes, you had wordsmith a little bit before, fees may be waived at the discretion of the select board
maybe waived or just, or
or discounted.
Oh,
Wait, what did you say, Wes? You said waived or discounted, right?
Yeah, waived or alternative fee schedules. So like you can, because you can have like as a percentage of revenue, or like if they say we're charging $100 per person, we say, okay, we'll take $15 per person for the field usage fee. 15% is a fair percent, especially if it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. At least that's my opinion. But that's
Where do the fees go, you guys? I don't remember from my FinCom days. Do these fees go into the general fund or where do they go?
general fund, yeah.
Okay, that's what
They
I
get
thought.
returned as free cash.
There's not a revolving account.
There is a
Did we add
revolving. Actually, there is a field revolving count. There is.
Well, that would make sense. And then I'm going down a squirrel hole here. Is that a thing? Going down a hole here. What's the revolving fund typically used for? Or is it,
For recreation.
okay, all right. And then at the end, it gets returned to free cash at the end of the year, anything that's not used?
No, so revolving fund keeps it in the fund. You have to spend, you can't get more than, and you can't get less than, and you have to keep it within a certain amount. And you have to
I
use it
actually
for
remember
certain
that now.
things.
And then town meeting, when it's too much, we accept it. We move it at town meeting. That's right.
That
Okay,
means we failed
right.
for providing programs to the town. If we
Gotcha.
have to accept it back.
Gotcha.
Or- We just make so much profit.
There you go.
So-
As, just because I've asked, and my little brain is now going now. Is the revolving fund, like, are there scholarships for Flora or any of that? And does that come out of the revolving fund or does that come out of the RecCom's budget?
I believe there are
I think
scholarships.
they come out of the budget. I think they come out of the budget.
Do they? Okay.
I don't know how they work, but I know there are scholarships.
Okay. No, I'm just thinking kind of mental note. I don't mind saying that when I was a younger single mom, I had to take advantage of a lot of these things. And I think letting people know that they're out there, when the time comes that we have it and it's there, I'm probably blushing right now because it's not something we all like to admit, but just make sure people know it's there, that they can get
I didn't know it was there.
yeah.
And so you're saying that people can get either a reduced rate or free tuition for those summer camp.
Yeah.
That makes- Great.
I know basically I called and just offered to volunteer, can my kids go and I'll volunteer, but people, financial hardship comes in all different shapes. So, okay.
Yep.
All right. Good to know. Okay. Sorry for going down that little rat hole. Okay. So Mike's going to work on the wording. It'll go back into the packet and we'll address it at a future meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
So do you want to put that into the document itself and we'll approve the document when it comes in? Or you just we're going to just approve the amendment to the document and then you're going to put it in later?
But either way, I think I'm clear on what we need to do here is for, just delegate for these first three categories. And I think Wes was real close on the wording here, as far as from the shall not to, may be waived or reduced at the discretion of the board. It was kind of what I caught, but I don't know if I caught all the wording. If that's the case, you could vote it now and we could get it in, but I want to make sure I get your exact wording. Otherwise I'll bring back, a cleaned up version for you to actually vote on, whatever the board would like.
I think bring back a cleaned up version. We'll have one last little look at it and vote on it. It should be quick because we've
Okay.
hammered it all out
Yeah.
pretty much.
That sounds good.
Alrighty, ready. Okay, last but not least, oh my gosh, we're doing an hour and a half. All right, Mike, select board support letter for cable access legislation. Do you want to just present that to the board?
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last, during 2022, cable subscriptions were down nationwide by 10%. And over a 10-year period since 2013, the overall subscriptions for cable access was down by 31%. So what I have is a letter that I've prepared on language that was forwarded to me from Mark and Kirby from Boxborough Cable Access to present to the legislature. And that letter's in your packet. This is a way, there's legislation before a joint committee of the Senate and House to try to get some funding back to local communities and their television stations. And this legislation, and I know Kirby can elaborate on this, and Wes has in the past, but this legislation would provide to modernize Massachusetts law by charging a 5% assessment on the gross annual revenue of streaming services, because that's where a lot of the business is going. So less and less subscribers to the regular cable access, more and more people going to Disney, Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu, and the like.
I think I have all of those.
And I have a bunch of those as well. And so we're doing it to ourselves.
I just want to see that one show, so you sign up, you never unsign up.
Right. So this legislation is to help correct that problem so that we can still have local quality television. And what happens is the 20% of the funds collected from this 5% assessment to these corporations would stay at the state. And then the other 80% would be split evenly between the towns and the community media like Boxborough Cable Access, Littleton Cable Access that are providing the service.
Kirby, I want you to know I still have cable too.
So I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add to that, Kirby. That was kind of what I had, and I captured the rest in a one-page letter to the legislature that I wanted to put in front of the board.
Madam Chairperson. Basically, what we're trying to do is an equivalence of what happens with the cable franchise fees.
Mhm.
That I think Rajan's working on Comcast at the moment. We completed Verizon. And that's a 5% return back to our location. The over-the-top providers, the streaming companies view it that they shouldn't have to pay because they don't own the wires. So
But they
we
use
were
it.
like, oh, let me see now. Whether you use 5G, 4G, 3G, any kind of wireless, there's a wire on the other side that either transmit or receive the signal. And, well, wait a minute, those wires are in the public right of way. And we have to maintain the poles, or Light and Water in Littleton and partly by Verizon. So unfortunately, that argument doesn't really hold water because they do use the rights of ways, not unlike Comcast and Verizon, for instance, who pay their share. So there was a recent hearing on the Hill, and were some very creative comments that were being made by the streaming companies about why they shouldn't have to pay. So we're still working on it. Unfortunately, the month of August, the legislators are all on holiday, but we're working to try and get the information out so that people understand that this is a new way to get media out to customers. But there's still a cost to get the information from point A to point B that includes going over the rights of way that belong to the town of Boxborough. So there should be a charge associated with that as well. Wes is very intimate with that whole process and has always been a staunch supporter of, hey, if you're going to cut the cable, that's fine. But there's got to be some way to recoup it so that the services that are provided to cover town meetings and some new services that will be coming online that we're going to be excited to tell you about will allow for greater outreach and coverage. So having said that short little bit, if there are questions, either Michael or myself, happy at some point to explain the whole franchise piece and how things done. Gave a special tour to David before we got started this evening and asked questions about how we did our broadcasts in here. So we're looking forward to possibly being part of the academy so people understand how we do our services and provide what's necessary. So any other questions? Happy to listen.
I actually love the idea of you being part of the academy. Is there room? The Citizens Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be amazing because I think people like me just think it magically shows up in our house and don't really know a lot about how it got there. So I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know what else I think it'd be fun with Citizens Academy is like how people could be more involved. Like I can remember my friend Alyssa Held had a cooking show at one time. I mean, do you still do things like that? So basically-
In Littleton we do, but we haven't done anything over here.
Mhm.
You are limited to a certain degree because you're only broadcasting on the government channel, not the education or public.
Okay.
So you're somewhat limited, but with the new technology that I alluded to, you do have a lot more options because, the franchise fees are paying for agreements. And in fact, Verizon agreement is a 31-month agreement. And if they decide they want to stop servicing Boxborough, they can. Comcast has been sticking with a 10-year agreement. Verizon was to 5 years with that 3-year bailout. So the horizon is there for new opportunities.
Gotcha. Yeah. The economy abhors a vacuum. So. All right. Any other questions for Kirby?
Yeah,
Wes has this. Oh, I'm sorry.
could you tell me the difference between the House bill and the Senate bill?
Oh, who? Oh, they're the
Yeah,
same.
70,
The same.
House Bill 74 and Senate Bill
Yep.
34.
The goal was to try and make them similar for exactly the reason that you're talking about. They're a very short piece of legislation. And it's in the tech committee that had the recent hearings where David Gothier, who's the president of Mass Access, that's the group of all of us public access stations. he and a lot of the other executive directors that have responsibility for local broadcast presented to the legislators to explain the situation. Good, bad, or indifferent. We got to the legislators after the ears had been bent, rather interestingly, by those streaming companies about, oh my goodness gracious, this is what's going to happen. And we're looking at it and saying, really? You're going to charge the customers for that additional amount. So, it's not out of your pocket. That's something that people don't realize. But it's an education process. So.
I thought the letter was well written, by the way.
There's Mr. West.
Yeah, Wes has his hand up.
Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to kind of demystify this. Effectively, as Kirby pointed out, it's going to be added to the bill of the people. So effectively, what everybody in town should do is before this bill goes in, go in and sign up and prepay like 3 or 4 years, so you don't pay taxes on it. But effectively, if you do subscribe to cable right now and you have a box in your house, if you look at your bill, you'll see a little service fee, and literally they put a note that says this goes back to your town because they're charging us to use this. So effectively, there are other states that do this already, and we would not be the first state to do so. But the alternative is then to instead levy additional taxes at town meeting to cover the differences, should people wish to continue the same level of service and or expand it from what we currently have, because effectively what we currently have is not sustainable. And so these are really our two options. And so you can either force everybody to pay, or force the people that are, or have the people pay that are using over the wire services. So
Pay to play,
that's-
baby, pay to play.
Yeah, Wes
Yeah.
brings up a really good point with regards to who's footing the bill. For the cable cutters that are here in Boxborough, it's the people who still subscribe to Comcast and Verizon that are footing the bill. So it's
So
on a
with
fair
cable
burden in
services,
time.
like I have Fios only, like the internet only, and I don't pay for any of that.
I don't know if you and Kirby can be friends anymore. I don't know. Your face might get blurred next time. I don't know, Wes.
No.
It's a thing I'm willing to take.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions or discussion about this? All right. I move to authorize the town administrator to send the select board support letter on behalf of the select board for cable access legislation H74 and S34 as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All righty. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Wes,
Folks,
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Dave,
McCann and I.
Hilberg, aye. All right. And unless
Motion
there's
to adjourn.
anything else, yep, that concludes our fun-filled evening for tonight. Wes, did I just hear you make a motion to adjourn?
you did.
Yay, second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Wes,
Folks,
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Dave,
McCann and I.
Hilberg, aye. All right, see you all on August 28th. And I'm hoping that can be an in-person meeting because that's going to be a busy one. Are you guys able to attend in person, I hope, Priya and Wes?
I hope so.
Hope so?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, yep. Good
Okay,
luck.
well, no, it's just that one will be easier to manage discussion if the whole board is here. If you can't make it, if you got stuff going on, I get it. But it would be a little easier on that one. So, all right, thank you, everybody. Oh, wait, Wes, what? No, I mean, Kelly, what? Okay, all right,
Good.
I guess we're good. Thanks. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
Did I forget something?
Were you supposed to sign that?
I knew.
I'm down for drinks.